And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome. Open your mind, your body, and your soul. Immerse yourself as you drift deeper into the sound.
But I've heard you talk about Bitcoin 1,000 times, but I have to ask you, are you an owner in Ripple or XRP or both?
Well, Ripple is XRP is the Ripple currency. Yes, I'm an owner of Ripple or XRP. I'm an owner of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Tezos. I'm an owner of Aragon. I'm a believer. I think this is, it's happening, it's coming. It's so important for the world, and I want the world to know it.
And maybe, David, we can start with you, just given the fact that DeFi is such a rage right now, and it's sort of decentralized financial applications, payments, et cetera. I mean, that can be the lowest hanging fruit. I know Ripple Ledger is built on top of open source software, XRP Ledger, so maybe you're a good place to start.
I think that if we want to have customers, they have to have great experiences. And customers want different things. They're in different countries. Some of them are underbanked. Some of them are overbanked. Some of them want to get revenue. Some of them have local currencies that they don't like. They want exposure to the dollar. Some of them, they want all these different things. And I think it's instructive to look at the internet. Like, why is the internet so great? Because whatever you want, it has it. It offers a broad array of things that are like whatever you want. Like, the internet's going to have it somewhere. If we build an ecosystem like that, that's what's going to be compelling. And that's going to mean public chains, it's going to mean private chains, it's going to mean DeFi, it's going to mean that it gives everybody what they want. And sure, there will be some things that are more successful than others because there are some things that people want that are more people want. But like, that's the ecosystem we want. We need a regulatory environment that's friendly to an ecosystem like that. We need interoperability so that people can hold the assets they want and aren't stuck in a corner. But if we don't build that, if we don't build that kind of ecosystem, none of us are going to have any customers. Like, there won't be anything exciting to do in blockchain.
And the message there is blockchain digital currencies are not welcome in the US. If you want to be in this business, you probably should be going somewhere else. Now, to be honest with you, we're even looking at relocating our headquarters to a much more friendly jurisdiction. You know, lots of them, UK, Switzerland, Singapore, Japan, and that's a shame. So we've got to change up here, or we're going to lose our leadership, stewardship of the global financial system. That would be a tragedy for the US. And I don't want to go too long on this, but one thing just to think about, if China controls the next-gen financial system, that's an illiberal democracy financial system. You could expect things like social credit scores to determine who's going to be able to make a payment. It's like as far away as the vision of digital assets, blockchain, as you could possibly get.
services. Now, it's a question for everybody, especially Amy and David. Would the association of cryptocurrencies and permissionless blockchains limit in any way the use of permissionless blockchains in financial services? Would financial services be worried about the use of permissionless blockchains?
So one of the things that, again, from our research, we highlighted some of the key challenges or issues that you need to think about for the payment system, and a good governance structure is key. And I think anyone who kind of witnessed the DAO episode with Ethereum last summer, you can't create that kind of uncertainty in the US payment system. I mean, you can't replace the existing architecture that has integrity and reliability and replace it with something that when something happens that you didn't anticipate, or there was a mistake that was made, that you take months to figure out what to do. I mean, it's just not going to be acceptable in the US payment space. So
ever since I started, it was always this concept of, look, you know, we'll have our base customers, but we have a really open platform. We have an open API, basically, where any company can come to us and essentially actually just go right into our sandbox and start building into our APIs. And then effectively what that means is any user can connect their sort of regulated Uphold wallet into any other use case. A great example here is Link2, right? So we partnered with Link2, and you can go make an investment, let's say into Ripple directly from your XRP in Uphold. And that's all handled through, you know, a real dead simple API structure. And that's the idea is you know, we have these multiple applications globally. We can't figure out every single market, so we'd rather partner with somebody who's gonna you know, drive the users.
be paid. And for hundreds of years, central banks have been entrusted with the job of making sure that we can rely on the money we use every day, that it will be safe, convenient to use, and available to everyone. Technology is now quickly changing the way we live and the way that we transact with each other. And as has happened in the past, technology is changing the forms of money that we use in our everyday lives. As central banks, we need to think about the opportunities and the challenges that these changes mean for our job of ensuring that trusted, effective, and convenient money continues to be available to everyone. Many central banks are working on these issues. At the beginning of this year, a group of them decided to share and develop their analysis of a general purpose central bank digital currency, a digital electronic form of central bank money available to everyone to use, to pay, and to be paid. In a nutshell, a digital equivalent of cash. Today, this group is publishing a report which explores the opportunities and the challenges of such a digital currency. It sets out the key principles that should underpin it and the core features it should have and the way it could help us as central banks to fulfill our mission.
So when it comes to feasibility, feasibility of a CBDC is for each central bank to decide for themselves. There are lots of questions which are specific to different jurisdictions. There are even political dimensions to deciding on a CBDC. So feasibility is for each and every of these central banks to decide. What we do in this report is to lay out the foundations. And for this we need principles. And we've identified 3 key principles that should lay the foundations for any work on CBDC. And these principles are, first, a do no harm principle. That is, CBDC should not hamper central banks in delivering on their mandates. And that means delivering monetary stability and financial stability. The second principle is about having an ecosystem where CBDC will coexist with commercial bank money and with banknotes. And we want that ecosystem to be diverse. And the third principle is about encouraging innovation and efficiency, not only in money, but in the financial system at large. And for that, we need the private sector to be actively involved.
Is it a security, first and foremost? And if it's not a security, it is most likely a commodity. And so that is the initial sort of test. What I will say is the interesting thing, unlike other kinds of investment contracts, is a digital asset can transform itself throughout time. So you can have a situation where something in an initial coin offering is very much a security, but over time the system becomes more and more decentralized. The enterprise that originally sort of sponsored the currency is no longer in the fore. The thing is sort of running itself. There's an intangible value, that's there. So you can have things that actually switch back and forth. You could also imagine a scenario where something is very much decentralized, but then all of a sudden, there's a pullback. The company gets more involved in it. It starts to look more like a common enterprise where profits are derived from the activity of others, thereby meeting the Howey test. But I think all things being equal, if you approach it as, is this a security? And if you come to the conclusion it's not with the SEC, it's most likely going to be a commodity.
Breathe. I can breathe for real. I feel good here.
You're back with us.
Thank you.